What's up, Justice League? I'm here giving you guys an update on how the league is playing out a quarter of the way through the season. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of close games, some not so close games, and what I wanted to do today was go through and see which team in our league correlates to which team in the NFL. So without further ado, we're going to go from 10th place to 1st place and see which team is what. So in 10th place, we have Alex, the Motor City Beast, and he is the Bengals. Not only is he scoring low, but his opponents are scoring exorbitantly high. He has 445 points for his team and 628.5 points against his team. That's a 185.5 point differential. You know, he's not the Dolphins because he has some great players on his team, could have a ton of good upside. I mean, you wouldn't assume that the Brady, Connor, Thielen trifecta would lead to being 0-4, but I mean, here we are. I think the hardest part with his team is that if you look at his bench, it's 90% Detroit Lions players. So, do with that information what you will. In 9th place, we have Hunter, Fumbly and My Tumbly. He's the Broncos. So he has a really good team, but he's lost some heartbreaker of games. In the 4 weeks that we've played, he's lost by 25, not that close. But then from there, he lost by 3.5, by 1 point, and by 11.5. This comes down to just having some bad breaks. Shoulda, coulda, woulda played some guys in your lineup. So I see a lot of high upside for Hunter's team. In 8th place, we have the Jabberwocky, Drew, and he is the Steelers. So his team was impacted a ton by injuries on the quarterback front, which means that he lives and dies with his running backs. You know, he has some decent quarterbacks, just like Mason Rudolph for the Steelers. Yeah, he's fine. He's gonna dink and dunk, but he has Mr. PPR, Christian McCaffrey. He's racking up a ton of yards, a ton of catches, yards in the air, yards on the ground, which is helping him keep his team afloat. In 7th place, we have Austin, the king of Pride Rock. He's the Browns. So he got a huge win this week to get him to 500. And I don't really know what to make of his team. If you squint really hard, you can see a good team there. I mean, you've got Kyler Murray, David Johnson, Travis Kelce. What he needs, though, just like the Browns, is a good quarterback to elevate his team to the next level. In 6th place, we have Michael Kamara Mutada. He's the Colts. So just like the Colts, he just handed his franchise over to Jacoby Brissett, and his team is comprised of a ton of underrated guys. He has Phillip Lindsay, Delaney Walker, Shady McCoy, a lot of guys that you look and say, man, yeah, I'd like to have those guys on my team. There's some good role players, some guys that could, help me win here and there. That's his whole team, and they're doing a great job keeping him afloat. So in 5th place, we have Reese with Will's worst role. He's the Texans. He has a ton of good players on his team. I mean, both his QBs are top 5s, and all of his starting pass catchers are top 10 in the season so far. So on paper, he should be doing a lot better than what his schedule reflects. The downside is that he is scoring almost exactly of what his opponents are scoring. His points for are 591.5, and his points against are 586. That's a 5.5 point differential. Let that sink in. The Texans have a points for of 78 and a points against of 78. Now, this is a team to look out for. He's going to be dangerous here coming up in a few weeks. In 4th place, we have JT with Doubletron, and JT is the Eagles. So despite being the team with the most points so far this season, and most points by almost 30 points, his opponents have scored just a bit higher on the 2 weeks that he's lost. So both of the losses that he has came against the second highest scoring team that week. In his last matchup on Sunday, this is kind of how I felt going into the Monday night game.
Stop! He's already dead.
Sorry, Michael, you got dealt a bad card this week. In 3rd place, we have Joshua with the Bare Necessities. He's the Cowboys. He has a completely solid team who just pooped the bed this week. No other way to say it. He shouldn't be worried about this loss, just like Cowboys shouldn't be worried about that loss. He wins the award for having the player with the best profile picture. That's Robbie Anderson of the Jets. In second place, we have Kevin Abu. He's the Patriots. For him, it's next man up. No Drew Brees? No problem. T.Y. Hilton's out for a while? That's fine. O.J. Howard has feet for hands? That's okay. I'll play the next man. Plus, having Nick Chubb put up 38.5 last week didn't hurt either. And in first place, we have me, Zeke Stragan. I'm the Chiefs. I have a young quarterback who is mobile yet accurate. Last week, Lamar said that he'd much rather throw the ball than to run it, as you can see right here. So this week, Kevin and I play each other, so there's going to be only one undefeated team left after this week. While I'm projected to win at the moment, my opponent ranks are all in the red, as you can see, and that doesn't leave me with too much confidence. I mean, it's not like I'm playing Hunter.
You have the right to remain.
One of the things that we see in our league that they started doing on the ESPN app this year was the final standings projections. As you can see, the biggest jump was JT. He was projected to finish dead last at the draft, but now he's up to second place. The biggest drop was Drew. At the end of the draft, I thought his team looked pretty good too, but he just haven't performed as much, plus all the injuries, so he's gone from first to eighth. Now, we're only a quarter of the way through the season, so this is going to change next week probably. So, we'll see how this goes. We'll revisit it at the halfway, and we'll see how we are doing then. Let's have a great rest of the season. Let's keep making those moves, keep those trades coming, and let's have a great rest of the season.
Take care.